review of the Tahoe 2150 deck boat. Got it in use today. Before I point out the things I like about it, I'm going to hit some of the items that White River needs to work on. Starting at the helm, as you can see I have a bright colored shirt over this steering wheel. Holy smokes, does it get hot. I mean, unbearably hot. So I'm going to cover that up. Now you can see that my instrument gauges are somewhat visible. Got a picture of what they look like when they're all fogged up. I wrote it up when I brought it in for my 20-hour maintenance. However, they recommended the nav lights be turned on to help keep these things from fogging up. They remained fogged up for the first hour and a half of driving this thing around today on a nice day when it heats up. It's really an unacceptable method of dealing with that problem. Let's come on up to this Lowrance, which has a deplorable user's manual. They just need to fire that vendor and get somebody that has a user's manual. I'm used to reading a technical manual. These are ridiculous. You know what? And I don't want to have to look up things on YouTube to figure out how to use something because somebody else has suffered through the use of this and finally figured it out. That's one of the more important things I want to see. What's the depth? This kind of crud that creeps across the screen, I can't move this anywhere. It blocks the depth. So anyways, fighting your way through making this a user-friendly and useful item is beyond it. It's ridiculous. So they need to pick another vendor for their fish finder, depth gauge, and GPS. The radio. The radio. This is a vendor choice. They chose Jensen. This specific one bogs up, unreadable. It's now getting to the point where we can read the information on there, but you know what? A buddy of mine has another boat, completely different manufacturer. They also chose the Jensen, and he's got the same problem in there. So you know what? Get somebody else. There we go. Look at that Bimini. Pretty ugly with all those bungee cords, but that's what I have to do to make up for the fact that their boot stinks. That's unacceptable. The boot needs to be able to stay on at the speeds that you trailer this thing in, and especially boating. So now we drive around with this kind of crud. They need to fix that. You need to come up with a better boot. The boot actually zippers up on one side and then the other. They meet in the middle and there's a snap that goes over it. Well, the zipper came off on one side today while we were boating, and the actual zipper part, the part you hold in your hand, completely came off. I didn't even get a chance to edit my video talking about some of the problems we had with our Tahoe 2150. Just got out of 20-hour maintenance or 20-hour break-in period. One of the problems we had was the Bimini boot kept coming off. Get some glue here because it came off on the road and somebody ran over it. But anyways, while we were boating, the zipper came off on this side. That's kind of garbage. Complained about the problem with it coming off and unzipped at boating speeds and trailering it and coming off while we were trailing it. They said, hey, well, we're already another one. So got the Bimini boot. I'm going to compare this one to the old one. Might be the same thing. This just might be built better. I don't know. Find out in a moment. Voila. It is the exact same thing. what I would recommend, and what sucks that you would have to do it, but when I zip those two together, so there's a zipper there, it's going to zip up around the Bimini, and then the other one's going to zip over there. When the two meet, you got to snap that together around it, but you know what? Add a little twist tie to the zippers so that they don't pull apart. From the bread, like a bread bag has that little twisty, that wire twisty thing. I'm going to use that to twist them together. I love the storage for ice chests. One of those things where somebody else did that and I went, oh wow, so that's what that's for. Anyways, that's pretty useful. Love it. They got a lot of things right on this boat. Really like the tow bar on here. Super heavy. Tucks right in there. Love the Mercury engine. Love the fact that they have stairs in the back and up front. Plenty, ample anchor space. Electric motor plugs in there. Nice powerful one. Remote controlled. Got the seats for fishing. They're stored in here. Nice little bags that hold the storage. Along with that, 5-gallon fresh water with the sink. Here's another problem. Screw's falling out. Really? That one's stripped. I mean, this has only got just over 20 hours on it. Went in for 20-hour maintenance. Good length on the hose. Sink pump came with a 5-amp fuse installed. Takes 7 amps, so that was blowing and resulted in a trip to the dealer to have that fixed. They did not install the correct fuse for this, which, you know, I don't want to have to drive this back and forth to the dealer if I don't need to. This area's got our electrics in it, carpeted. It's supposed to stay somewhat dry. It doesn't. Be nice if they made that a little more watertight, but you know, lots of storage space here. It's very nice. Got a live well. More storage under here. More storage under each of these seats. Nice little area to wrap up the cords. Garbage area. It's drained. Should have chosen a different color steering wheel, and that sucker gets hot. Other than that, absolutely fantastic boat. A few items they need to tweak, and they need to get different vendors for things such as the radio, till those things stop fogging up. Whomever they're using for the gauges, or they need to install them in a manner that they do not fog up. And this, sorry, the rants. They just need to get somebody else. Make it a better experience.